Welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to talk about the Prusa XL. And this thing has been a long anticipated review. I've had several people send me comments and emails and messages saying, would you give a quick review on your Prusa XL? Well, today we're going to do it because I've had this for over 2 years, and I'm going to give you an honest review of how this thing works after over the 2 years. So let's get into this video. Thank you so much for supporting our channel. Make sure that you hit that like button down below, subscribe, leave a comment, because it's those things that help support this channel for free and let us do more content for you. All right, so to preface the beginning of this video, I'm not gonna get into the weeds on a bunch of product details. I'm just gonna give you some opinions on what I think about this machine and how it performs after thousands of hours of prints. So if you're looking for a more in-depth video, that's not what this is. So if you're new to 3D printing, this is going to be helpful to you. But if you are a seasoned veteran of 3D printing and you're thinking about getting one of these machines, I think I have some insights that might help you. Let's just start with the build volume. 360 millimeters by 360 millimeter build plate. Now I just have a standard helmet sitting here, and the size of this build plate is excellent for what we do here in our shop anyway. For example, printing a full Boba Fett jetpack body, just the shell of the jetpack that we do, it's got plenty of room. We can throw some extra parts on there if needed, but it is a huge build volume. Now, after over 2 years of this machine being released, there are some other comparable printers out there that are newer and potentially have some bugs worked out of them and so forth. But I still use this Prusa XL on a daily basis. Now let's talk about a few cons real quick, because there are so few with this machine. First of all, you'll notice I only have a single head. So the multi-head, I didn't opt in for that because I didn't really need to do multicolor at the time that we had this. I've got some other machines from Creality at this point that do the multicolor printing, but I didn't need it at the time of this Prusa XL. What we needed was a larger build volume. So one of the cons of this machine is this came out before speed really got refined. So it prints now with a new update, I believe around 170 millimeters per second. So it's no slouch, but it's only slightly more than half the speed of what some of the new printers are today. For example, the Creality K1 that I just did a review on recently, and the Creality K2. So let's put speed aside for a moment, because that's almost my only dislike of this machine. And quite frankly, it's not even a big dislike. I have done zero fixing maintenance on this machine. I shouldn't say maintenance. I have done maintenance on this machine. I have greased the rails and so forth, the normal stuff that you have to do. But I have replaced not a single part on this machine after thousands and thousands of hours. I have had 2 clogs on this machine in its entirety that I've owned it. And like I said, it runs almost every single day. So that's quite shocking to me, considering machines that I've just bought recently are 2 years newer, and I have more issues, not bad issues, just more inconveniences, let's say. So let's talk about one thing that impressed me the most on this machine of any machine that I currently own, and that is the print quality. The print quality coming from the Prusa XL is phenomenal. I just don't know how to explain it. It is a slower machine, which would account for some of the better prints that you get out of it simply because you're slowing it down, as opposed to some of the new faster machines today. So sometimes when I need to do a lot of work on a helmet, for example, this Mandalorian helmet, this thing has to be as smooth as possible when I go and apply the chrome coloring to this, or the paint, or the graphite, or whatever I end up doing on a helmet like this. It has to be smooth as glass. So using this machine to print something like this really gives me a leg up and saves me a lot of time and a lot of elbow grease when I'm working, as opposed to just ripping something out really quickly on, for example, my K1 or something like that. If I need a part fast, I'll throw it on one of the Creality machines. If I need a part that looks beautiful, I throw it on this machine. Now, we did an advent calendar here recently for Christmas, and that turned out amazing. We did change colors manually. We did not use a 2 heads or anything like that, but the quality of that turned out beautiful. Not a spot of paint was having to be applied to that project. And that alone, when you save that much time in the quality of your print, the machine's doing the work. I don't have to. And I think that that is a huge advantage. So I'm not sponsored by Prusa or anything like that. I just wanted to share my thoughts on this machine. And it seems like every time that I do a review on a 3D printer, I turn around like the next week and I have a problem. And I'm really hoping that I don't with this one, because it's just Murphy's Law, and I get it, but I'm kind of tempting fate because this machine has been so perfect. I mean, we have names for all of our machines here in the shop. I'm not going to share most of them with you simply because they're names that we give the machines based on their performance, and this machine has the best name of all time. Okay, I'll share it with you. We named it Jesus because it's perfect. And I don't mean that sacrilegiously. It is just perfect. We have no problems with it. If it develops a problem, there is in the software, there is in some of the mechanics of it, it detects that problem. It shuts down before the problem becomes a big problem where you're having to fix something and order parts and change parts. So it's just a perfect machine. At least it has been for Cause 3D in this shop. And here's the big question that everybody always asks me. I think we spent $2,000 on this thing back in October of 2023. I take that back. We ordered it in 2022. It took us over a year to actually get it. It came as a kit. We assembled it in here in the shop. And like I said, we've never had any problems. But the biggest question that people ask me all the time is this machine worth $2,000? My answer to that is yes, absolutely. It prints fantastic. Do you need to go out and spend $2,000 on this machine today in 2026? No, you don't, because there's some other machines that are on the market that are just as good, if not at this point better than this Prusa XL. But if you can find this thing for like $1,500 or less, which I've never seen it go on that big of a sale, I would say pick one up. It is worth it for the 360 by 360 build volume alone. It's a large machine, and we have bigger machines here in the shop like the Comgrow. If you haven't watched that video, I love to hate that machine. It's much larger, but we always have problems with it, so we only run it on large projects. This thing can print something teeny tiny, or it can utilize the entire build volume. And I will say one interesting thing about the Prusa XL is in the software, sometimes if I need more than one part, I will just hit fill bed, replicate. I don't even think twice about, watching it and babysitting it. I just don't worry about it. Some of my other machines have maybe low spots, high spots that didn't level correctly. There's all kinds of different things that can happen. I watch a lot of my other machines. The Prusa XL, I just let it do what it does best, and that's be left alone and print. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. Make sure that you drop down, leave a comment, hit the like button, subscribe if you're not subscribed already, because this is 2026 and we're gonna do a bunch of other stuff this year, and I'll be sure that you don't wanna miss any of the videos that we're gonna be posting. So thanks for watching today, and we will see you in the next video.